evening, Commissioners. Nice to be here. I'm not a resident of South Miami. I am a resident of Cutler Bay and a frequent visitor to your pleasant city. And I am an environmentalist, and I'm going to speak against this project. And I think it's important that you do hear a variety of environmental views, and I'm going to try to present some of them here. One gentleman spoke already with some of the information that I presented on Facebook, but I'll try to elaborate a little bit on some of that. First of all, the urban development boundary that's been touted a lot, that this project is going to help alleviate stress on the urban development boundary. I think that's ludicrous. The developers and speculators that have bought property in the Chrome Avenue corridor in Weston Kendall and those and that entire area are interested in the same thing that Federal Realty Investment Trust is getting their projects permitted, getting their development rights to be able to build. They're not going to shout for joy if Federal Realty gets its high rise and say, wow, we can go back to farming now. They didn't buy that land for farming. They bought that land to develop, and develop it they will. They're going to continue the pressure on that. It's also going to have no impact whatsoever on mass transit ridership in Miami-Dade. That is only helped if you get existing residents of the county onto mass transit buses. What we have here is a huge increase in South Miami. We see that the developer is asking for hundreds of new parking spaces, so he's telling you with that request for parking spaces how he expects people to come, how residents and visitors to come to and from his development. There will be more traffic, there will be more cars, there will be more parking. And the only way you could get, one thing you could do to increase mass transit here is build that bridge across US 1. It took me a long time to cross US 1 today, waiting for that light so I can cross safely. People die crossing US 1 throughout this area. We need that bridge. We need that bridge throughout the county. And this, by the way, is really county-wide. This is regional-wide, these comments I'm making, because this is happening everywhere. One thing different about South Miami is that you've established, you say you want to be green, you are green. That's why I come here all the time. I moved to South Florida in '95. And the first time I came to South Miami, I said, this place is different. It's still charming. It's still beautiful to walk down Sunset Drive, see one-story buildings. It's lovely to be here. There's nothing green about this project. When we look at the full effect of this project, as people have already said, you're increasing people, you're increasing traffic, you're definitely increasing electricity use, you're increasing the CO2 footprint of this community, road runoff. Where does road runoff, when it rains, where does the stuff that's on our streets, the brake pad material, fluids, antifreeze, where does it go? Directly into our coastal waters. You're increasing water use, you're increasing wastewater into our coastal estuaries. There's nothing green about this. This is a profit for a developer who made an investment, a very big investment, before he had the okay to do so, which is kind of strange. Because if I was investing $100 million, the next time I get $100 million, I would find out first if I'm going to be able to build this. Now he's trying to get it after the fact. Let's see what happens. It also, I think, one of the commissioners, I think Commissioner Harris, spoke at the last meeting, and he talked about the slippery slope. What are you going to do after you zone this one particular property and all the other business owners or property owners, let's say business owners, property owners say, you know what, we want the same thing. And there's a developer who wants to buy my row of shops and he wants to build a high rise. And you're going to say, no, that only applied to this one? No, they're going to demand the same thing. And before you know it, you have Kendall. Not Kendall, you do have Kendall, you have another Dadeland. Talk about Dadeland in a second. You have something like Brickell. Is that what you want to be? Is that the vision for this community, this pleasant, walkable, quiet city, that you want it to grow up to be that size? And I think it's very important that you are setting that example. I talked about Dadeland because maybe this is not a good place for a mall. One train stop away, South Miami to Dadeland North, one train stop away, 1 mile away, a mall with 150 stores, the biggest Macy's in Florida, a thriving mall. Why wouldn't people go there? And you have a mall here that maybe it's not working. Maybe it's time to think about something else that fits the character of Sunset Drive, something a little bit more charming, that is open. Get the right kind of stores in here. I don't know. I'm not an urban planner. But I do know there's nothing green whatsoever about this project. And it's taking you down a path where you're going to change the entire character of your community. I think that's the greenest contribution you could make. If you talk to Floridians throughout the state, overcrowding, population growth is the biggest problem we have. Don't add to it. Thank you.
Sir, can we get your name again?
Yeah, I'm sorry. My name is Matthew Schwartz.
Okay.
Resident of Cutler Bay.